There's a moment that comes after you start healing that nobody really prepares you for. It's not dramatic, it's not loud, it doesn't look like a breakdown. It looks like quiet. You wake up one day and the noise of your old life feels distant. The conversations you used to tolerate feel hollow. The people you used to cling to don't hit the same. That chaos you were used to being surrounded by is suddenly gone. And in that silence, something new shows up. Loneliness. Not the loneliness of being abandoned, but the loneliness of outgrowing. And this part can feel confusing because healing was supposed to make you feel better. So why do you feel more alone? Because when you heal, you stop fitting into the roles you used to play. You're no longer the fixer anymore. You're not the emotional dumping ground anymore. You're not the one overextending, overgiving, overexplaining. And when you stop being those things, some people don't know how to connect to you anymore. Not because you're wrong, but because the version of you they bonded with no longer exists. Healing quietly changes your identity. You begin to value peace over familiarity. You start choosing depth over proximity. You realize that not everyone who has access to you deserves intimacy with you. And this shift creates space. Space between you and old habits. Space between you and old people. Space between you and old environments. And space, for a while, can feel like emptiness. This is why the healing phase often feels lonely, not because something is wrong with you, but because your nervous system is no longer wired for chaos. Your body is no longer addicted to the emotional intensity. Your mind is no longer seeking validation through struggle. Your spirit is no longer interested in surviving rooms that once felt like home. So when you step out of the old dynamics, there is a period where nothing has fully replaced them yet. You're not who you were, but you're still becoming who you are. That in between space, that's the lonely part. And it can make you question yourself. You start thinking, am I isolating myself? Why do I feel disconnected from everyone? Why don't I feel the same excitement around people I used to love? Why does being alone feel peaceful, but uncomfortable at the same time? Because you're learning to be with yourself in a new way. For many people, loneliness isn't about being alone. It's about not knowing who you are without the roles you used to play for others. If you grew up being the emotional support, the strong one, the one who holds everything together, then healing feels lonely because you're no longer needed in the same way. And that can hurt. Not because you want to be used, but because being needed once felt like love. Healing rewires your understanding of connection. You start craving mutuality instead of emotional labor, presence instead of performance, safety instead of adrenaline. And when your standards shift, your circle often shrinks. Not forever, but temporarily. This is the quiet season, the season where your nervous system is stabilizing, where your identity is shifting, where your old life doesn't quite fit, and your new life hasn't fully arrived. This is not the end of connection. This is the recalibration of it. Loneliness during healing, it's not a sign that you're regressing. It's a sign that you're shedding patterns that once kept you connected through pain. And here's the part no one says out loud. Sometimes healing means sitting alone in the unfamiliar silence of your own presence until you learn to enjoy your own company without needing to perform for no one. This is where self-trust is built. This is where your standards are formed. This is where you stop betraying yourself for belonging. And yes, it can feel empty at first because you remove what wasn't aligned before the aligned connection arrived. But this space is not punishment, it's preparation. The people who meet you next will meet a version of you that is grounded, regulated, and self-aware. Not someone chasing connection, but someone choosing it. So if you're in this season where your phone is quieter, your social life looks different, and your inner world feels more still than chaotic, you're not failing, you're healing. And loneliness in this space is not abandonment, it's transition. You are in between versions of yourself, and that space is sacred. Let it be quiet. Let it be slow. Let it teach you what peace feels like before your new life fills it with aligned connections. If this episode resonated with you, it's because you're in a quiet transition phase of your life. You're not meant to rush this season. You're meant to learn who you are when no one is pulling on you. Stay here a little longer. Let the old fall away. Let the new form naturally. And if you're walking this healing journey with us, this space exists for you. You're not alone in the quiet. You're becoming. And I am very proud of you for being here today. So let's keep healing and growing together. And I'll see you here tomorrow. Bye.